Okay, we're recording now. This is the organizational business meeting of an endeavor I want to pitch to Valentina and Sophie. You want to raise your hand? Turn around and look at us. Okay, there's Sophie, also known as Hazy Fox. So here we are. And here's the deal. Our friend Steve told me that the three of us together should be making $60,000 a month. And I thought, wow, that sounds kind of preposterous. But as I've thought about it, I thought, well, why don't we try it? So I'm going to pitch a business idea today. We may spend a couple of minutes doing this, and we'll probably have subsequent meetings, but this is our very first one, and I'm Alan, and I wanted to show up here on the screen something you can't see, but I want to show Sophie and Valentina this website here that they haven't seen yet. Okay, girls, can you see on my big screen here?
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, Metagalactics. Okay, it says Metagalactics LLC. So what I'm doing is I set up this company, and I can tell you more about it later, but fundamentally, I have this company. It's called a limited liability company, okay? Because when somebody's going to go into business, big business where somebody's making money, or any kind of business, it's good to set up a company. And one reason for that is that it protects you as an individual. Because if something goes wrong with your company, then people can say, well, okay, we're going to sue your company or something, but fundamentally they don't sue you, okay? That's a real simplified version of it. So I set up this company. It's called Metagalactics, and it's about education, and we can talk more about that later. But then I got this idea, and I thought, well, maybe Sophie and Valentina would be interested in having their own part of this company. And so, if you see right here, yesterday and today, I got the domain name Hazy Kid and Hazy Kids. So this is sort of like if you choose that we're going to do a business project together, Hazy Kids could be your site. And Sophie, I looked for Hazy Fox, but that name had already been taken. So I thought, well, Hazy Kids is a pretty neat name. So guess what? I registered that domain name, Hazy Kid and Hazy Kids. And guess how much it cost me to register, to own the domain name?
How much?
What would you think, Valentina? How much would you think?
Dana said 20.
Hey, you're right on track. $22. $22 to register Hazy Kids. And if you go to my GoDaddy account, you will see that the value. Would you like to actually see that, or have me just tell you?
Just tell us.
Okay, I registered that domain name. First of all, Hazy Kid, and then Hazy Kids. That way we have both names. Each one of them costs me about $22. And now GoDaddy tells me that Hazy Kid is worth, can you guess how much it is worth? How much do you think? How much? 30. What would you guess, Valentina? What would you think?
20 again?
Nope. Guess bigger, higher. Maybe I have to tell you. I don't think you'll ever guess it.
100.
More than that. 10 times more than that.
1,000.
1,000, yes. 1,122. I think it is or maybe $21. $1,121 for Hazy Kid, and then Hazy Kids is all worth $1,132. So for a $44 investment, I now have what's called equity in the company. And I thought, well, maybe I could share this equity with Sophie and Valentina, and we could reach that goal that Steve suggested about us making $60,000 a month. That is $20,000 a month apiece. And so I thought, well, how could we do that? Well, Sophie and Valentina have a lot of ideas, and I thought, well, if they have their own domain name and their own website, and so you're looking right here at a website that I set up today. Now, I haven't really put in a lot of information. It's, we can start building the website together. You can learn how to do it, or I can help you with it. But anyhow, right now, what you have is if you like, we could try doing business together and see if we can collaborate and cooperate and maybe get some information and input from Mr. Steve, and within a short period of time, start making $60,000 a month between the three of us, $20,000 a month apiece. So now, you're probably wondering, well, or one of the things, you're probably wondering a lot of things, but I guess the first question to answer as I'm making this pitch to you is, would you like to, are you interested? Are you interested in moving forward and seeing if we can work together to turn this into a real business? How about you, Dana? You think you're in or you out?
I want to get a business like Mark did in the book.
Okay, Sophie would like to have a business like Mark had in the book. And Sophie, you must tell us more about what type of business you would like to have? You're thinking about it. Okay. How about you, Valentina? You have any specifics, ideas about a business that you want to do? Do you want to continue investigating this? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to do nothing? What do you think? In or out? For the time being. You know, it's not a permanent commitment, but if you say, hey, I'm in for now, that means you continue listening. Yeah, if you're bored, well, you say, no, I'm not in for now. Goodbye. I'm going to go do something else. But as long as you stay, here's the next step. So, Sophie, relating to what Mark in Warrior Kid did, what his Uncle Jake helped him do is he said, look, figure out things that people want to have done, that they really need to have done, and that you can do. So that's the essence of a business. Now, here's what I'm thinking. And here's the reason I'm proposing, one of the reasons I'm proposing this business idea to you, is that I see a personal need. I see a need in our family for the two of you to catch up on your studies, especially on math, this summer. And I'm looking at that, I'm saying, wow, that is a need that probably a lot of other kids have. And could we use the Hazy Kids website to help motivate other kids and at the same time motivate ourselves to close the gap? Now, how would, to close the gap? So there we have, I've done a lot of reading, and I know I can see that, well, first of all, I can see here at home that there is a gap in your math abilities between where you are right now and where you will expect it to be, where you need to be according to your grade level by the end of the summer, because we lost some time during the COVID thing. Okay, so if you have that need, probably a lot of other people have that need, and if we can just find a way to help them meet that need and allow them to pay us, then we can make money. And it's the same thing Mark was doing, Sophie, but with him, he was doing lawn maintenance. And so his dad had a lawnmower, his dad had lawn tools like trimmers and stuff like that, and so he was able to use that equipment for his business and make money. Now, we don't have lawnmowers and all that stuff, so we would, that business is not particularly great for us. But you talked about taking care of pets. That's another business that some kids can do. I'm kind of interested, so my business proposal to you right now is, could we work together? Could we see if we can turn this website and this business idea into something that will help the two of you close your math gap, and at the same time help other kids close their math gaps, and in some way make some money on that? Are you willing to consider that? No? What's the problem? Why you're not willing to consider it, Sophie?
I don't want to do a math thing.
Oh, you don't want to do a math thing?
No.
Well, here's the deal. Why don't you want to do a math thing?
Because I don't want to spend my whole days learning about math.
Oh, well, the idea is not to spend your whole day learning about math. The idea would be able to figure out how it's fun for you, and then help other kids make it fun for them, and then help them close their math gap. So you'd close yours, they would close theirs, and you'd make some money, and we'd make some money. Is it something that we could try out? No. No, Sophie, that is a big barrier for me, because now I'm going to have to go back and figure out what other way can we do, what can we do to really make good use of our time? Because one way or the other, well, let me ask you, one way or the other, I guess as a dad, I say, wow, it's my responsibility to make sure that you close that math gap. And I think there's a lot of the parents in that situation. So I'm personally interested. Now, we could just separate it, not make it a business, and I just say, okay, Sophie, you do your math, Valentina, you do your math. But if you girls learn how to do it, then see, you could be actually teaching other kids. And through teaching other kids, you could be making some money, and you could probably make more money than out walking dogs. But then
I don't want to walk dogs.
You don't want to walk dogs?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
What is it you want to do?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, at this point, here's what I'd like to propose. I'd like to propose, since it was Steve's original idea that we should be making $60,000 a month, and since it was his idea to get you involved and ask you what you wanted to do, then I would suggest that we see if we can set up a Zoom meeting with him, and you can ask him questions about how he thinks we can do that. Okay? And this is something that's frequently done in businesses. You have a board of advisors, a group of advisors. You try to get one or two or three or four people who are smart and knowledgeable and have experience and who are willing to provide you some advice about how to get going with your business. Okay, so I think that's probably the next step. Sylvia, I have a question coming back to your. Can you sit up a little bit straighter so we can see you, Sylvia? Okay, great. Coming back to you're saying, hey, I don't want to do math. To answer your objections there, what we can do in our next meeting, what we can do is let's just focus on that math piece of it and say, okay, Sophie, all right, business or no business, what is the best way to close the gap? We can have another. But you don't know right now, and I got some ideas about it. We don't want to let this meeting run too long because then it gets too boring for everybody. But let's just say that right now, I'm going to make in business and business meetings and stuff like that. People sometimes make a suggestion. They say, "I move that." That's sort of language that they use in meetings when big people get together. And I move that we schedule a meeting, a Zoom meeting with Steve, and get his input. And we're going to vote on that to see if that's something that you're in favor of. So, and then they say when they're voting on that, well, in a Zoom meeting, right? That we schedule some Zoom meeting kind of time that's good for you, Sophie, good for good for Dana, good for me, and good for Steve. So, and when they do that in meetings, they say, all in favor, say aye. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Well, we got one aye, no nays. So we have two neutrals. Sophie, are you opposed to it or in favor of it?
In favor of what?
Just having a Zoom call with Steve and asking him for some input on how to make $60,000 a month.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. How about you, Valentina? Again?
Sure.
Okay. Can you say aye? Valentina says sure. So that's accepted as a vote too. Okay. So that is, I guess that establishes the agenda for our next meeting. Is to set up a time when Steve can Zoom with us and we can talk about how he thinks we can make $60,000 a month and also help me fulfill a responsibility that I have and something that is really a need in your lives, which is to close the math gap. Okay, so, and when they have in business meetings, it's very normal for somebody, I barely see your head. If you can sit up a little bit closer, we can see you. A little bit higher. There we go. Yeah, now we see you a lot better there. We can't see Valentina. She's lying down. She's really sleepy. She was up late. But she's here. So now, I have been the acting chairman of this meeting. And later on, if you girls decide you want to set up a business and you want to get your own chairman, etc., I'm just the acting chairman in this meeting and in the business startup here. So in business meetings, as the chair, it's my responsibility to formally conclude our first business meeting of Hazy Kids, doing business, Metagalactics LLC, doing business as Hazy Kids. So I move that we adjourn our meeting. Adjourn means in the meeting. We finish it. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. We don't have any nays. The ayes have it. So we are adjourning this business meeting, and the next item of business is to Zoom with Mr. Steve and find out how he thinks we ought to be earning $60,000 a month for the three of us. Okay, so that's it, and I'm going to turn off the video here, and there